Hello world, Natarajan here. Today's video is about an alignment which was abandoned for more than 15 years near Salem, Tamil Nadu. Let's go back to 1995, the year this section of line from Salem to Magnesite was abandoned. Salem Junction had both meter gauge and broad gauge in that year. The meter gauge lines were coming from Virudhachalam and Bengaluru. The broad gauge lines would come from Jollarpet, Erode and Mettur. The meter gauge line from Bengaluru and the broad gauge line from Mettur runs together from Omlur to Magnesite. The meter gauge line will go under the broad gauge line coming from Jollarpet. This meant that the meter gauge line did not affect the traffic on the broad gauge line. I'm not sure if this was the way from day one the line started, but this was a good move. I know there were many meter gauge, broad gauge, diamond crossing in India before the project Unigauge started. There were only 6 passenger trains using the meter gauge line coming from Bangalore. I'm not sure on the freight movement during 1995 on the meter gauge section. The trains were Banaswadi Salem Banaswadi passenger, Nagore Banaswadi Nagore overnight passenger, and Virudhachalam Banaswadi Virudhachalam fast passenger. The Bangalore-Salem meter gauge line was closed in 1995. Banaswadi was the end point for meter gauge in Bangalore when the line closed. The gauge conversion was completed in 2 years, and on 1st August 1997, the line was opened as broad gauge. During conversion, a new ramp was built near Baipnalli to connect the Bangalore-Chennai line, and the broad gauge line was connected to Mettur-Salem line at Omlur, thus abandoning the meter gauge alignment from Omlur to Salem. The meter gauge tracks were removed, but the alignment remained unused for more than 15 years. After gauge conversion, only 12 trains were running. One train was restored from the meter gauge days, the Salem passenger, present day SMVT Bengaluru Karaikal Express. One new train was introduced, Bangalore Coimbatore Bangalore Intercity Express. The present day Bengaluru Ernakulam Bengaluru Intercity Express. 5 trains were diverted from the Bangarpet line to Osur Dharmapuri Salem line. A small trivia. Osur Dharmapuri was once a narrow gauge line. Do let me know in the comments if you knew about this. More details on this in the future video. List of trains on the gauge converted lines as follows. Bangalore Kanyakumari Island Express, Mysore Tanjavur Express, the present day Mysore Mayiladuthurai Express, Bangalore Koilan Express, weekly Gandhidham Nagarkoil Express, and weekly Rajkot Cochin Express. The last 2 weekly trains now run via Konkan Railways as Gandhidham Nagarkoil Express and Oka Ernakulam Express. Mettur line had good traffic. The Salem Jollarpet line had to be blocked for the freight movement to Mettur. The speed at the points for the movement of trains towards Mettur was at max of 15 km per hour, which meant more waiting time for trains on the busy Salem Jollarpet line during peak traffic. The railways felt frequency was manageable with that alignment, and hence the meter gauge alignment was abandoned. Now let's come to the present story. Apart from the freight trains, there are also 26 passenger trains with 2 trains running on the Mettur line which have to use the Omlur Magnesite section. Also, a new railway lane was built from Salem and Karur via Namakkal, increasing the traffic further on all these lines. With more demand for freight on the Mettur section, a second line, that is doubling, was needed. Southern Railway, looking at the situation, decided to reuse the old meter gauge line for the second line, and it's a good move. Let me explain how this helps railways reduce the timings of trains and improve efficiency. Now, trains, which includes both passenger and freight, coming from Omalur side and proceeding towards Virdachalam or Karur can easily use the rail over rail bridge and enter Salem Junction and then proceed further without disturbing the main line. The same applies in reverse. Also, trains moving to and from Erode side will change lines at Salem. The alignment is used as a single line, allowing train movement in both directions. Depending on the traffic, trains can be moved to any line to increase the efficiency. I recently experienced a journey on this alignment on Bengaluru Ernakulam Express during the Orange Onde Bharat capturing adventure. Also, Southern Railways have already done remodeling of Salem Junction, which allows freight trains to skip at a good speed. Trains which are running on the main line, that is the Chennai Coimbatore Kerala line. Here is a small glimpse of the same. Here is the list of 26 trains which, depending on the traffic, can use the restored alignment for an easy entry into Salem Junction. Hope you all found this video informative. See you soon.